Hello everybody and welcome to the FinTech Times. I am here at Money 2020 Europe in Amsterdam and I'm very, very happy to be joined by Charles McManus, the CEO of ClearBank. Charles, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good.
Delighted to be here. Really exciting and buzzing event today.
Yeah, it's there's so many people everywhere. There's so many people to talk to. If only there were more hours than a day is what I think. But why don't you tell us a bit about who you are, where you've come from, and what does ClearBank do?
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm Charles McManus, the CEO. I was one of the original founders back in 6.25 years ago, so 2016, where Nick Ogden had the great idea of setting up a new clearing bank in the UK. So at that stage, there were only 4 main clearing banks. FinTech revolution was coming. And how about the idea of connecting to all that fantastic fintech front end to a clearing cloud native Microsoft Azure platform and get end-to-end experience in relation to real-time experience through clearing. And ClearBank was then born, and we're 6 years on now. We've got over 200 regulated financial institutions on the platform. We're getting to profitability in the UK. And in the last 9 months, we've landed the Apex investment to actually take the product to Europe and the US, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a moment. So we're having a fantastic journey at the moment in serving our financial institutions, both on clearing and also embedded banking, which is another passionate topic that we'll no doubt touch on as well.
Embedded banking, it's everywhere, isn't it? I can't get enough of it. Well, you've come to Amsterdam, but you haven't just come to Amsterdam to enjoy the free coffee or meet who else is here. You've actually come to make quite a big announcement, haven't you? That ClearBank has just formed a new partnership with Ziglu. Is that right?
You are 100% correct, and absolutely delighted that we made the announcement this morning to partner with one of the largest digital asset companies in the world, Ziglu. And really reinforcing ClearBank's position of trying to deal with the regulated best. They've got some of the highest regulated and compliant standards in the marketplace, and we're really delighted to partner with them and service their customers in relation to virtual accounts, all of their banking needs, and being a trusted bank advisor to all of them in giving them that customer experience. So yeah, very exciting times. And I'm also privileged to be on the panel tomorrow in terms of group discussion, in fact on stable coins, on private versus public, but Ziglu are participating in that discussion as well.
Oh, well, fantastic. Yes, I mean, with cryptocurrencies, it's been a very trying time, hasn't it, for the market? It's been a lot of fluctuations. What are your thoughts on that?
It certainly has. Like any boom and excess, the party has to come to an end or has various events that's got to change the outcome of what happens. And I've been in the regulated world, in investment banking and banking for 35 years, all my life, and we've been regulated throughout. And you can't have gambling and essentially sort of speculation in markets into excess in relation without proper regulation. So very much in that space. No one likes to see anyone in terms of losing money of any kind. So I welcome finally the FCA and the Bank of England and the rest actually grappling with the regulatory question. And we're very keen to be part of that and play our part in terms of playing with the best regulated companies in the world in digital assets and look at the fiat to digital currency sort of interface. And that's where ClearBank can actually play in terms of actually holding cash of the central banks, differentiate ourselves, but actually being a trusted partner to those regulated compliance companies. And as the governments and Bank of England look at the regulation, we would look to play our full part in relation to that. And it's funny in terms of what's happened, funny perhaps is not the right word in terms of people only losing money, but of the regulators looking at the changing market of who should play, how do they play, what do you need to be to make sure they raise the standards for consumers and those exposing themselves to those type of risks in digital asset world. We very much welcome all of that as I said, are keen to play our part in it in the future.
Do you think that there's a certain area of the crypto industry that is in desperate need of regulation?
I think so.
Yeah.
I really do. The consumer must be protected. I mean, none of us we want to live our own lives, and we want the freedoms and all the things that we value so highly, and that's been brought through so much through COVID and obviously the Russia-Ukraine perspective. But it always worries me that I was exposed, like a conversation that I had the other day, where we have oil delivered to the house in relation to our heating oil, and the tanker driver is saying to me he'd just put some money into a crypto asset. And I asked him, did he understand what he's investing in? No, right? So you know, when that is happening, you know that essentially the boom and the rest of is going too far. And ultimately, if people lose money, then all the protections and regulation and the rest need to be there to ensure people understand that, and they're not getting missold. They understand what they're investing in and the risks that they're exposing themselves to.
That sort of aspect of consumer education around crypto, and I think, you know, as you said, you've been working in the industry for 35 years, and crypto is still quite a novel sort of topic-ish, but we're very lucky in that we understand it. Maybe the average person on the street would hear about the hype but not fully delve into it. So I fully agree with you that that's what's going to be sort of taking place this year. We touched upon this a bit in your intro about embedded finance products, and how a lot of people that I've spoken to have really been like, yes, it's going to be the year of embedded finance. So in terms of how that translates into crypto, when you look at like banking as a service offerings or embedded finance solutions, how is doing that within a crypto firm different to a regular financial institution?
So we are the overused hypes of sort of banking as a service or embedded finance, which is more of a sort of buy now, pay later sort of space. We, in terminology terms, talk about embedded banking and RFSCS deposit protection accounts. And that sounds like a mouthful. What the hell is all of that? Well, embedding our bank accounts in terms of quality fintechs, EMIs that are providing a service to theirs, and that they can act like a bank and get a ClearBank bank account with £85,000 worth of protection, in that if ClearBank was to go bust, we are covered by the deposit protection scheme. That to us is what we mean by embedded banking. And so we do that successfully today with Tide, for example, our partnership with Tide, which has been well publicised. They've got 7% market share, 400,000 SMEs in the UK. Through their Tide app, they have a ClearBank bank account, and their money is 100% safe with ClearBank in relation to it. And we're providing that through the Tide app. If you then go to the digital asset crypto companies, and all of those individuals also had a ClearBank bank account that was protected as part of Ziglu's app or Coinbase or Gemini or whatever it is, that would give them enhanced protection, essentially, that their money would always remain safe, even if in the unlikely event that ClearBank actually failed. So that's what we can bring to the party in relation to giving that added. And in times of stress or recession, we've seen it so much in the financial markets in terms of the booms and busts, and the regulator's job to try and smooth all that and protect consumers and businesses. We want to play our part in relation to one, not over giving that insurance, but two, hopefully they'll never have to use it in terms of the ClearBank's sustainability and essentially the regulation that we care so much about.
But that was a very, very good answer, and hopefully we'll see some of those issues that you mentioned sort of being smoothed out this year, maybe into the beginning of next year as well. Now, as you mentioned, it's been a very busy time for ClearBank. Of course, you've just received £175 million in investment. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We announced, as I said, in terms of the UK business getting to scale, becoming profitable, our customers asking us, Charles, give me more in relation to euros and US and service me globally. that together with our existing investors that we wanted to partner with a new investor that actually brings some of the global experience and scaling to our party. And Apax did that, and we successfully secured the funding that you're talking about, and that's allowing us now to expand into Europe and also in the US, and we're looking at various initiatives in Asia Pac as well, to take the ClearBank platform and infrastructure and essentially be able to service those companies in those jurisdictions. So it's a very exciting time.
Have you got any plans to differentiate your offering regionally when you do make these expansions?
We've got 4 major differentiators in relation to the sort of company. We talked about it's very unusual that you're a fintech and a bank and that we only do payments essentially. Our embedded banking FSCS account, we're doing that at scale. The fact that I don't have a retail banking and business banking arms, we don't compete for our customers. The fact we hold all the cash at the central banks, all those things will be the same whichever jurisdiction we actually go to. In terms of, and of course, the fantastic customer experience and the culture of the bank in customer first that everyone talks about, but actually in reality, when we run incidents, for example, we run it live with all our customers. Things will always go wrong, but actually it's about problem solving and actually giving customer service to put it right as fast as possible. And so operational resiliency and all of that we built into the platform, so important in relation to making sure that a consumer SME never has a problem making a payment, ever. And so, that's a very hard thing to deliver technically. So, yes, of course, we'll comply with all the local regulatory and compliance in each of the jurisdictions we actually operate as a bank, but the actual products and our platform will remain consistent throughout the world.
Well, that's it's good to know that you're going to adhere to your brand image and keep that really consistent offering, which is very, very promising. Now, this is a very early days question, and of course we're only on day one of Money 2020.
Yes.
But how are you finding the event so far?
Well, I love people. I love the whole personality side of the business and customers and the buzz of essentially enabling, empowering all our customers to do better things and innovate. So it's been fantastic to see everyone. I was here in September, and that was just post COVID, and it was pretty quiet. Now it's great to actually see a lot of people back, and the excitement. I think the other aspect, though, the change in the whole of the importance of financial crime, compliance, obviously the Russia-Ukraine sanctions, money laundering, all of that, really important parts in relation to some of the players, as well as, of course, the digital assets and the fiat sort of digital asset interface and what's happening in those markets. And I think those influences are playing out around the hall today. But I think it's highly exciting, and I think it's highly relevant in relation to getting rid of the bad actors in terms of money laundering and financial crime, and all that we need to do to make sure that the world in payments is as safe as we can make it.
Well, here's to that journey, and hopefully next time we meet, we'll be talking about a much safer industry and a much more regulated industry as well in terms of crypto. But anyway, Charles, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
My pleasure.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your time at Money.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.